Okay. Today we're going to talk about chapter 13, which is cost planning for the product lifestyle. We'll get into theory constraints and strategic pricing. So let's just go through a few of these um, problems, and then we will look at it. So let's start with exercise 1329, target costing. We've got Bowman Specialties manufactures specialized equipment for polishing optical lenses. There are two models, the A25 principally used for fine eyewear and the A10 for lenses used in binoculars, cameras, and similar equipment. The following table shows the manufacturing cost for each unit is calculated using activity-based costing for these manufacturing pools. And we see there the list on these pools is shown in the problem right through here. Um, and it says BSI currently sells the A10 model for $1,050 and the A25 model for $725. Manufacturing costs and activity usage for the two products are as follows. And direct materials, number of parts, machine hours, inspection time, packing time, and setups. Calculate the product cost and the product margin for each product. Okay, so to do that, we'll do the A10 first. And so we've got direct materials. That's just given to us as 143.76. And then we've got the number of parts. And so going back to our cost pools, we have two allocation bases that are by the number of parts. And so that's 121 times $2.25 for the materials handling, and assembly is $2.55. So we get 480 per part times 121 parts. We get $580.80 for that. The machine hours are 6. Go back up there. Hours of machine time is 2350 times 6 machine hours is 141. Inspection time is 1 hour. That's logged hours are 35, so 1 times 35 is that. And packing time is 0.7 hours. It's $15 per hour. Is 1050. And then finally, setups. We have two setups. Each setup is 4460. Is 8920. So if we add that all up, we come to $1,000.26 on that for model A10. For the A25, we go through the same process. 6644 is given to us as the direct materials on that. Number of parts is $4.92, and we had $4.80 times 92 is $441.60. We had 4 machine hours. The machine hours was 2350 is 94 on that. Inspection time is 0.6 times $35 would be $21 for inspection. Packaging is 0.4 times 15 is $6. And then finally, one setup. So setups are $44.60. So if we add that one all up, $673.64 is our cost for the A25. So that's under the current situation. Okay, number 2 says a new competitor has entered the market for the lens polishing equipment with a superior product at significantly lower prices. $825 for the A10 and $595 for the A25 model. To try to compete, BSI has made some radical improvements to the design and manufacturing of the two products. Material cost and activity have been decreased significantly as follows. Calculate the total product cost with the new activity. Can BSI make positive gross margin with the new cost? Okay, so now we're just going to do the exact same thing again, except with our new costs, which are given in this group here. And so with the A10, we've got the direct materials of 78.65. The number of parts has been reduced to 110 from 121, so that's still $4.80 per part. 110 parts is $5.28. The machine hours has gone down to 5, so the machine hours is 2350. Whoops. And we've got 5 hours is 117.50. Inspection time is 1. That's what it was before, so that's going to stay at 35. The packing time stays at 0.7, so that's going to still be 1050, what it was before. And setups is 1 instead of 2, and so now we have 4460. And so we add this all up. And I hope I added that wrong. Let's try again. 78.65, enter. 528 plus. And we get 814 25. Yes, we would have a positive margin. It wouldn't be much at 825. It'd be just a hair over $10. Do the same thing for the A25. We have 42.45 for the direct materials. Number of parts is 81, so 4.8 is 388. 80 for the number of parts. The machine hours has been dropped to 2 from 4. So the machine hours is 23.50 per hour. Would be 47. The inspection time has been lowered to 0.5 from 0.6. Inspection time is 35. The 1750. Let's see, the packing time is 2, so that's been cut in half down to 3. And the setup stay at 1, so we're at 44.60. And if we add those up, and the competitor's price was $5.95, so yes, we'd have positive margin on that. Then number 3 says, assume the information in requirement 2, but further assume that BSI management is not satisfied with the gross margin on the A10 after the cost increments. BSI wants a $50 gross margin on A10. Suppose you are able to change the number of parts to reduce costs further to achieve the desired $50 margin. How much would the number of parts have to change in order to produce the desired margin? So the desired margin would be 825 minus the 50 would be 775. We've got 814.25 minus 775 is 39.25. The number of parts was $4.80 for each part, right? So we would need to reduce it by 8.17 or round up to 9. We would have to reduce it by 9 parts. It was currently 110 parts. We'd have to get that down to 101. All right, so that's exercise 13-29. Then next one I had was 13-32, manufacturing cycle efficiency. You might want to pay attention to this one for your exam. We've got the Weymouth Manufacturing operates a contract manufacturing plant located in Dublin, Ireland. The plant provides a variety of electronic products and components to consumer goods manufacturers around the world. Cycle time is a critical success factor for Weymouth, which has developed a number of measures in manufacturing speed. Weymouth has studied the matter and found that competitive contract manufacturers have a manufacturing cycle efficiency of about 40%. When last calculated, Weymouth's manufacturing cycle efficiency was 35%. Key measures from the recent production averaged over all jobs during that period are as follows. And we want to determine the manufacturing cycle efficiency. What can you infer from the manufacturing cycle efficiency? So here's our information that as is given to us. All the new product development time is 30 hours, etc. Right. And so manufacturing cycle efficiency is the manufacturing cycle time. Is the processing time divided by the manufacturing cycle time. So the cycle time is the amount of time between the receipt of a customer order and the shipment of an order, and the manufacturing cycle efficiency is the amount of processing time. So when we look at the manufacturing cycle time, this is 13-32, we do not take into account the new product development. That doesn't go into. Materials handling does. That's 2. Order setup is 6. That does. Machine maintenance is 3. Order scheduling is 1. Inspection of the completed order is 5. Pack and move to storage and ship is 2. Manufacturing assembly is 24. Order taking and checking is 3. Receiving the stock of materials is 6. And inspection of raw materials is 2. All right, now, so the only one we have to question is this 3, order taking and checking. So that is not the receipt of the customer's order. So let's take that one out when we do this, and we add this all up, and we get 2 enter 6 plus 3 plus 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 24 plus 6 plus 2 plus. So we've got 51 hours. Now of that, how much of this is production time? Well, materials handling is not production time. Order setup is not production time. Machine maintenance is not production time. Order scheduling is not production time. Inspection of the completed order is not production time. Pack and move to shipping is not production time. Manufacturing assembly is production time. Order taking and checking is not. Receiving and stocking new raw materials and inspection of raw materials at the start of production is not. So we've got 24 divided by 51. So we've got 47%. So we would say that we're doing pretty good on that one. So that one works out. The next one that we have is Tact Time. Tact Time is 13-33. Johnson Electronics manufactures the tower supply used in various electronic products, including printers, modems, routers. The demand for the part is 8,400 units per week. And the production of power supply requires 6 different operations, each in sequence having the following times. The net available time to work is 70 hours per week using 2 seconds, 2 shifts. So what is the tact time in seconds for this product? So this is 13-33, and that's going to be 70 hours times 60 minutes in an hour times 60 seconds in a minute gives us 252 total seconds. They want 8,400 units every week. And that is 30 seconds per of tact time. And then number 2 asks us, is the processing line properly balanced for this product? Why or why not? And the answer is no, because all these operations don't have that. They can happen sequentially, but they can happen simultaneously, right? So I can be doing operation 2 on the first unit while I'm doing operation 1 on the second unit, right? And so I can have these operations going on. But if you look down here, it takes 34 seconds to do one. So I can't get it done. I can't get operation number 5 done in the amount of time that it takes. And then what is the strategic time? Well, I need to look at operation 5 and either decrease our time by increasing capacity. For example, having 2 operation 5s running at the same time, I would lower that to an average of 17 seconds per unit. Then my limiting factor would be operation 3 at 30, which would come in at the budget, right? So somehow I've got to decrease the operation 5 by at least 4 seconds per unit in order to do that. Okay. The next one is number 37, which is life cycle planning. On that, where we've got Matt Simpson owns and operates Quality Craft Rentals, which offers canoe rentals and shuttle service on the Nantahala River. Customers can canoes at one station, enter the river there, exit at one of 2 designated locations to catch a shuttle that returns them to their vehicles at the station they entered. Following are the costs involved in providing this service each year. Okay, so they began their rentals. So we have the fixed costs and the variable costs for each of these. The fixed costs are $2,300. plus 3,000 plus 5,400 plus 6,920 plus 6,000 plus 21,000. All right, so if we add that all up, our total fixed costs are 44,620. Then we have the variable costs. The variable costs are 6,400 per year. We've got basically $3.50. And we're told that rentals have been stable at 6,400 a year. Excuse me. So that's 22,400. And then we have they invested 25,000 in a fleet of 30 canoes. These are expected to last 10 years, at which time the new fleet must be purchased. Rentals have been stayed. So we've got 25,000 divided by 10 years is 2,500. If we add that all up, so we got the 44,620 plus the 22,400 plus the 2,500 is 69,520. That's our total cost for the year. They want to know to make a 20% return, so we multiply this times 1.2. So we need revenue of 83. I'm sorry, I did it for a 20% markup. He wants a 20% return on his assets. So we're only going to calculate the we're going to only calculate the 25,000. So 20% of 25,000. Excuse me on that. So 25,000 times 0.2. He needs a $5,000 return in addition to his 69,520, his 74,529. All right. And then he has 6,400 rentals. He needs to charge $11.64, 64 and a half, 65 cents rounded up per rental on that. All right. And so that's how much he needs on that. I wanted to talk about theory of constraints. Um, so let's go ahead and look at problem 13-45 on that. And what we have here are your activities for two different things. Now, these two lines can go at the same time. So one is the end tables here, and one is the sofas here. So, and you've got two lines moving into the stain, the assembly for the sofa. Okay, so if we look at the end tables, for the lumber, it takes 30 minutes to cut it, 45 minutes to assemble it, 30 minutes to sand it, and 48 minutes to stain it. So our constraint on time, the constraint on time here is 48 minutes, right? And then on the sofas, the constraint on time, we've got the 48 minutes is the assembly, which is 90 minutes down here. That's the constraint on the sofa. And they want us to calculate the throughput margin for each of these things. So let's go back up here and see if we have any more information. Colton Furniture is a small but fast-growing manufacturer of living room furniture. Its two principal products are end tables and sofas. The flow diagram, which is what I've got on the screen, for the manufacturer Colton follows. Colton's manufacturing involves 5 processes: cutting the lumber, cutting the fabric, sanding, staining, and assembly. 1 employee cuts fabric and 2 do the staining. These are relatively skilled workers who could be replaced only with some difficulty. 2 workers cut the lumber and 2 others perform the sanding operation. There is some skill in these operations, but these skills are less critical than those for staining and fabric cutting. Assembly requires the lowest skill level. There are currently a total of 175 hours of working time per week provided by a single full-time employee plus some part-timers. The other employees work 40 hours a week with 5 hours off for breaks, training, and personnel time. Assume a 4-week month that by prior arrangement, none of the employees can be switched from one task to another. The current demand for Colton's products and sales prices are as follows. Colton expects demand to increase significantly in the coming months if it is able to successfully negotiate an order from a motel chain. Okay, so we solved which one's the constraint. Using the constraint, calculate the throughput margin for per hour for each product. Okay, so throughput margin per hour is for the end table is $250 times 60 divided by 48. An hour is 60 minutes, 48. So So we can get 1 1/4 end tables done per hour in the staining department. And so the throughput per hour is 312.50. And then for the sofa, it is 90 minutes. So we've got 450 times 60 divided by 90 is we can get 2/3 of one done is 300 is our throughput for there.